Hey y'all, I'm back with another video, and it's because the Lord was really pressing it on my heart today to talk to you about the opinions of man. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about the opinions of man, specifically now, since the Lord has been pressing it on my heart, is because it is the main thing that's causing a lot of confusion today and this hour in this season for a lot of you. It's causing a lot of double-mindedness in this season or in time period in a lot of you guys' life. And the reason it's causing a lot of confusion and double-mindedness is because it's muddying the waters, if you will, when it comes to what it is that God has been saying to you, what it is that God has been speaking to you. And it's because a lot of you, you'll know what it is that God told you to do, but you have to, before you actually take action on the thing that God told you to do, you have to run it by someone else first. So this is one of the ways that opinions of man can muddy the waters of what it is that God has said for you to do, or the path that God has put you on, the very straight and narrow path, right? Because you will, a lot of you have to run it by other people to see if it's something that you should do. And these could be people that you actually trust. These could be people that you deem to have trusted voices, right? People that you trust, where that could be a family member, a friend, or someone that you look up to, right? But it's possible, and I want you to kind of meditate on this idea, right? It's possible that God could tell you to do something and not run it by them first, meaning that the information and the advice that you're going to get from them, it's going to open up a window for double-mindedness. It's going to open up a window for doubt. It's going to open up a window of confusion, because there's going to be this voice that you've trusted all these years, that you ran by this person, and then there's going to be versus the voice of God. But what God is really wanting you all to do in this season, to cut out confusion and cut out double-mindedness, is to put his voice first, is to run it by God first, and allow that to be enough. Allow what God said for you to do to be enough. Some of you need to be set free from the opinions of man, the approval of man, right? And for a lot of you, it may not be that you're running things by people for approval, but it may be that you're just seeking acceptance, right? You're seeking approval from other people with just who you are as a being, right? In every move in your life, right? You're doing it because you're seeking acceptance and approval from for other people, right? That could be maybe you're saying certain things, or you're doing certain things, or every decision that you make, it's so that you can be accepted by other people, or so that you can get a stamp of approval by other people. I don't know who these people are to you, only you do. That could be your parents, right? Maybe you've always looked for approval from your parents in life, right? So everything that you do it has to be directly aligned with something that they will approve of. It could be friends, right? It could be friends that live a certain lifestyle, and so everything that you do has to directly align with you getting approval and acceptance from these people in your life, right? But you have to break free from the opinions of man. This is what God is wanting you to do, some of you in this season, because in order for you to receive the blessings that God has for your life, in order for you to stay on that straight and narrow path, in order for you to cut out double-mindedness and confusion, is to put God's voice above everything. So when you receive an instruction from God, right, when you know that it's something that the Lord wants you to do, resist the urge to run it by other people. Sometimes it's just, not really sometimes, all the time, God's voice is enough. What God says do is enough, right? Obedience, God holds obedience above a lot, right? God holds obedience above most things, right? Everything, pretty much, right? If you obey the things that God does, right? He says that's how you love him. You keep his commandments. That's what he says. If you love me, keep my commandments. What is keeping God's commandments? Keeping the things that God says do. When God says do something, that is a command. It is a commandment. You love God by keeping his commandment. So God honors obedience, right? But when you're seeking approval from other people, when you're seeking acceptance from other people, you're allowing the opinions, and that's just what they are, opinions of man, to seep in and muddy the waters of what God said do, muddy the waters of God's commandments for your life, right? And that brings in double-mindedness, like I said, that brings in confusion. So really, it's so simple. I know that it's hard, but it's so simple. Put God's voice above everything else. And when you know there's something you need to do in your life, and you feel the urge to run it by other people that you've always seeked seek acceptance from and approval from, resist that urge and go into the secret place with God and continue to seek him on the matter, right? And he'll confirm it for you. He'll send something to confirm it for you. He'll send a sign, he'll send a prophet, he'll send someone to confirm it for you if he feels that you really need that. But some of you, it's just a faith thing, right? It's a faith thing, it's a rejection thing, it's a need for approval. It's just constantly seeking the opinions of man. And this is just a strong encouragement to resist the urge to seek for opinions of man.